What's going on, Guardians? Bungie just dropped a new live stream featuring not just fresh exotics for the Edge of Fate, but also brand new archetypes. Of course, some we've seen before with content creators going to Bungie, but rocket-assisted pulse rifles look fantastic, and a legendary crossbow. Yes, a crossbow's finally coming to the game. Of course, there also is more. So today, we're breaking down everything, the new exotics for each class, spicy new weapons, and what this could mean for your build crafting moving forward. So buckle up, drop a like if you're hyped, and let's dive into it. Let's start off with the Warlocks, and oh man, Solar Mains, this one is for you. Introducing Eunoia, this exotic gauntlet is tailored to the Hellion aspect. When you pop your class ability and summon your Hellion Solar Buddy, it doesn't just shoot out one anymore. It becomes a straight up mortar. This upgrades those fireballs to explode on impact, and then they launch seeking projectiles that chase down more enemies. While this might not be raid meta out of the gate, but for ad-dense content like seasonal activities, dungeons, or strikes, this is going to be so much fun, especially on Prismatic. When you're already mixing and matching, it's just going to explode everywhere. And if you position yourself right, it can focus all of those solar buddies onto one target, meaning it will constantly scorch and ignite them and just continue that trend. I'm personally really excited to build a fully fleshed out Scorch build with pure Solar Warlock. Next up for the Hunters, you are getting Moray. It's designed mostly with Strand in mind, and that's where it's going to perform the best. This one amps up your threaded spikes and your tangles in a crazy new way. Basically, how it's going to work is you throw your threaded spike at a tangle, which will detonate the tangle and send a tangle right back to you. If you pair this with Whirling Maelstrom, you basically can turn that original tangle into its Strand Beyblade that we all love so much, but you're also going to get a new tangle straight back in your hands, which you can then throw out again to create another Beyblade. Essentially, you can have up to 3 of these things running around all at once, setting off just that Beyblade chain and grapple onto them if you haven't thrown it yet. It's just gonna wreak havoc, and in any ad heavy encounter, it's gonna be fast, fluid, and it just looks straight up fun. Now, Titans, you finally get to live out the Thor fantasy with Malice Penelopea. I probably pronounced that wrong, but this solar exotic will bring your hammer back to you. With the Forge Master perk, every time you pick up a fire sprite or if you get rapid solar kills, you gain the ability to perfectly recall your throwing hammer. Basically, you hit a target and you yank it back, which will then explode on its way, dealing damage on its return. You've basically got an infinite loop of throwing hammer mayhem. If you miss your shot, no worries, it's still that hammer. You can go pick it back up manually and then just continue to throw it and recall it. This exotic might not change the in-game meta, but it is a total blast and is going to be fantastic for melee Titan builds, especially with the ability to increase that melee damage up 30% when you build into it. Now let's talk weapons, and more importantly, let's talk new weapon archetypes. First up, we have the rocket-assisted pulse rifle, the Mint Retrograde. It is a Strand rocket pulse rifle, and this thing looks wild. Of course, it's a pulse, it's a 3-round burst, but each burst is a rocket. They said essentially it's in between a fusion rifle and a sniper. It's going to deal massive damage potential, but the magazine size is tiny. So you can burn through ammo pretty fast if you're not careful. But I think with the right mods like a ammo finder or scavenger, this thing can absolutely dominate. Obviously, they want to scale back the ammo in general on release just so it doesn't come out broken, but we'll see how it really plays out, and I think that if we build into it correctly, we can make this a completely viable weapon to use in any type of in-game content that we want to do. Next up, we are getting a spread shot hand cannon. Basically, it looks like it feels like it's going to be a sawed-off shotgun disguised as a hand cannon. It can hit hard, and in Crucible, it will 2-tap. We're waiting to see how it actually plays out in PvE, but with perks like Barrel Constrictor, 1-2 Punch, and Trench Barrel, it could end up being a really good pick for any type of close range or ad dense or heavy encounters in PvE. Now, for all of you bow lovers out there, we are getting a brand new archetype called the Longbow. It is slower to draw, hits harder, but the big kicker, it can over-penetrate targets. Basically, you can line up some red bars and boom, multiple kills with 1 arrow. But the real showstopper of the stream is the legendary heavy crossbow. This is the most exciting legendary weapon I think we've seen in a really, really long time, and we've been asking as a community for a crossbow probably since bows got introduced into the game. This is going to be slow firing, hits like a truck, and it uses heavy ammo. But the kicker is, you can retrieve your arrows. So essentially, you have the potential to have infinite ammo in any type of activity that you're playing. And if you play smart, you can recover them from walls or from enemies. Basically, you shoot it, you go pick it back up, and then you can reload it and shoot it again. And instead of magazine perks, they are going to have bolt types. So explosive bolt, which sounds similar to explosive head on regular bows, will detonate after impact, but the one that seemed the most exciting that they talked about was serrated bolts. These are going to do damage when you pull them out of an enemy. That is insane innovation that I love to see. Basically, you shoot a chunky enemy, you run up, you pull your bolt out of the enemy, it does more damage, you reload and reshoot. This opens up so many cool gameplay loops and interactions. It's fresh, it's exciting, and it's the kind of weapon that we have been begging for. And lastly, there does seem to be some really good synergy in the artifact mod with some of the new weapons and exotics that we're getting. First up is Radiant Shrapnel, so dealing sustained weapon damage while you're radiant, or when you defeat a scorched combatant with a weapon, it causes the target to release solar projectiles that deal damage and scorch on impact. Meaning if you're a Warlock using your new exotic, you scorch an enemy, you have Radiant Shrapnel on, you kill that enemy that's scorched, it's going to release those solar projectiles and deal damage and scorch more enemies upon impact. Then another one that seems extremely exciting is just Tangled Web. So when you create a tangle by defeating a strand debuffed enemy, it will suspend nearby combatants. Normally it's been the opposite where you have to destroy the tangle, then to create the suspended animation, but this time all you have to do is create that tangle and it will suspend any enemies. Now, of course, I'm extremely excited about Threaded Blast in the fourth column. Destroying a tangle with strand damage increases the radius of the explosion and its damage. I'm interested to see how that plays out and how it synergizes with the new hunter exotic, the Moray, but we'll have to wait and get our hands on it to see how it fully feels. And lastly, another one from the fifth column is Elemental Overdrive. Picking up an elemental pickup or a tangle grants increased damage to weapons of the same element. Basically, you pick up a fire sprite, you'll get increased solar weapon damage. You pick up a tangle, you will get increased strand weapon damage. So there you have it, Guardians, a full breakdown of all the new exotics and all the new weapon archetypes coming our way with the Edge of Fate. From Warlocks and their fire, Hunters pulling tangle tricks, and Titans channeling their inner Thor. This long-awaited debut of crossbows, there's a lot to be excited about. We'll be build crafting for each one of these new exotics and putting them through their paces in all types of content. So if you're as hyped as I am, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and let me know in the comments which exotic or weapon are you most excited to try. As always, thank you so much for coming and watching, and I will catch you in the next one.